And ahead on our news day, Meralco will report its financial and operating results for the first half of the year. Also, low-cost housing developer 8990 Holdings will hold its annual stockholders meeting. Catch those stories as they break only here on ANC. Well, in 1997, the world faced the Asian financial crisis. 10 years later, it was the U.S. subprime crisis that hit not just the U.S., but the rest of the world. To this day, the global economy is still recovering. Some have described the situation as VUCA, that's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. This morning, we've invited a Chief Finance Officer and a CEO to talk about that, the theme of the Ayala Finex Finance Summit. That's on August 1st. Joining us are Marivic Espano. She is Chairperson and CEO of P&A Grant Thornton, and TG Limcaoco, the CFO of Ayala Corporation. Good morning and welcome to you both.
Good morning,
Good morning, Nancy. All right, Marivic, let's start off with you. Of course, we define at least what the acronym VUCA stands for. It's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That started off as a military concept. Now it's an acronym that's used to describe the common business conditions. How does VUCA happen in the finance world? I mean, usually when you think of VUCA, you think of like perhaps the operations part of running a business or the marketing part. But how so in finance?
Well, finance is a very much important aspect of a business, and therefore whatever happens in operation, the finance people must be able to understand and adapt immediately. So one has to look at what is happening in the world, and the finance people must be able to support their organization to cope up with it.
All right, TG, the theme of the Ayala Finex Summit is the CFO in a VUCA world. How's life as a CFO in the VUCA world?
Well, it's very complex, Nancy. I think markets are so interrelated today. Funds flow from one country to the next in the blink of an eye, and what happens in one country can affect the economics and the financial world of another country, and that's what we're seeing today. Plus, there are so many disruptive technologies. Businesses are changing every day. New ways of doing business are coming in that a CFO and a CEO actually have to be working closely together to make sure that their business survives.
All right, in today's business world, the reality is you're either the one disrupting or you're the one being disrupted. There really is no middle ground. What major transformations have you seen in the finance world that could reflect this whole VUCA phenomenon?
Well, I think first there's a lot of talk about what they call fintech today, where you're using technology to modify the way finance runs today, whether it's in the payment system, the way you interact with customers. Then there's also the reality, as I said, that the markets are so interrelated that an event far from your country, even an event that's very far from what we would think in the Philippines, really affects our markets. Global investors are just that. They're global. They move all over the place. And they will move out of your country when they believe there's a better opportunity outside. And therefore, you've got to be very nimble and you've got to plan for this.
All right, Marivic, TG talked about technology, and I was going to say that, you know, disruption is not always all about technology. In fact, it has a lot to do with culture. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, definitely culture plays a big part. If you talk about the VUCA world, there's a lot of global mobility that would come with it, and therefore organizations must be able to find out how they could engage their people, how could they retain the right talent, and having the right culture would be the best way, the most important way of retaining your right people. So we in Finex believe that as finance professional, it is not only finance that we are concerned with. We must be able to relate well with the other units of the operation, including our HR practitioners, when we talk about building the right culture and retaining the right talent.
All right, Marivic, VUCA is not going away. In fact, it can only intensify. What is Finex doing to better equip its members in dealing with this phenomenon?
Well, aside from the usual technical trainings or seminars that we offer to our members, Finex is also offering discussion forums like the one that we're having on August 1, the Finance Summit, where we gather CFOs and CEOs and share the experiences that we have in dealing with challenges brought about by the VUCA world. We believe that in addition to technical trainings, the experiences shared by our members during these forums would be very important in giving our members insights on how they can themselves deal with these challenges.
All right, PG, Ayala Corporation is co-presenting this year's event. What will make this year's event unique from the rest?
Well, it's the second year, Nancy, that we're having this event. I think, as Marivic said, this event really is geared not really at talking about financial expertise, but really bringing the CFO together with the CEO and talking about the characteristics that make a good CFO. I think the theme this year of VUCA is very timely because I think finance professionals should not only focus on what is historically the technological finance and numbers, but really talking about risk management and maybe sustainability, working with new technologies, working with your CEO, working with strategy, because the world is very complex today, and therefore you really need great cooperation not only between the CEO and the CFO, but even the chief strategist, the chief risk officer, and I think that's what we're trying to bring together in this summit.
All right, please do invite the audience out there. Give us the who, what, where, and when.
Well, we're inviting all Finex members and people who want to come to the summit, the Ayala Finex Finance Summit. That's August 1st, beginning at 8 a.m. And Marivic will tell us where, because I can't remember where it is.
Well, we're holding it at the Fairmont Hotel in Makati.
All right, on that note, we want to thank you so much for joining us. The Ayala Finex Finance Summit, the CFO in the VUCA world. Our guest this morning, Marivic Espano, CEO of Grant Thornton, and PG Limcaoco, CFO at Ayala Corporation. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.